What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here. And now here's my opinion on aftermarket mags. Now, it's a very tough overall opinion to have because there's so many different companies and some have been 100% reliable for me when it comes to the 43X mags, the Shield Arms, and I've had 8 of them. The Z9 mags, though, failed after about 2 weeks. So it's like I love the 43X mags, I trust them, but then I go to my 43 and I couldn't trust those. I got new springs for them. So far, the new springs are holding up. So I'm starting to, get it back. But the only way you can tell if your magazines are reliable is by testing them. And so what people always say to me when I make my videos with my ETS mags, SGM tactical mags, Men 2 mags, my Pro Mag drums, my KCI drum, I mean, whatever. All the aftermarket mags. Whenever I make them, people say, oh, they're reliable for me. And here's the thing. You don't hear anybody walking around at the range or the store and they're just like, oh, yeah, guess what, dude? My Glock OEM mags, they work for me. No, it's just across the board. Glock OEM mags work. Usually if there's something going wrong with them, it has to do with an aftermarket base plate, how they're manipulating the firearm when they're shooting it, their thumbs riding that slide lock. There's a whole list of user errors that are never taken into account with Glock mags. But first of all, it's rare to even see Glock mags have issues. You might every now and then, but there are so many reasons a firearm can fail, from cleaning, from maintenance, aftermarket parts, all the way down to those magazines. Now, the thing about these is they're fun for the range. The main reason, though, the only reason I have an ETS mag and a Men 2 mag and an SGM tactical mag, only reason was to make videos joking around about them. But they are fun for the range, I can't even lie, when they work. It is more frustrating. I'd rather shoot 10-round mags that run reliably than a 40-round mag that jams all the time. Or I shouldn't say all the time, but, every 5 mags or so, or, even you'll have 2 in 1 mag, that whole situation. But I can't even lie. I got to be honest with you guys. My SGM tactical, I think it's a 34 or 33 round mag, something like that, has been 100% reliable. That thing's ran flawlessly. And in my opinion, that is the closest built aftermarket mag to a Glock mag. It's got the polymer layering that is very similar in thickness. It also has that metal layering as well. Sorry, I'm messing up. But it's ran, and it's the one that, in my opinion, is most similar to the Glock mag. Everything else, you can see where they had to change up the design, and you might see where, making them for so cheap, maybe they're using worse metal in the spring, so after 2 years, they give out. The only way you can test if your magazines are reliable for you are by testing them, but I would never, ever tell anyone to carry aftermarket mags, except for Shield Arms S15 mags, and I would tell that person, make sure you have 1,000+ rounds in there, and make sure you've kept rounds loaded in those magazines for a long period of time to know that those magazines are strong enough to endure that. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on aftermarket stuff. Oh, drum magazines. So, it's been weird with the drums. My KCI drum mag has actually not had any issues. In my opinion, it's not better quality, but I would say the spring, something about it is just better. I don't know that it's necessarily the quality. I think it's just the way it's built. It seems sloppier and stuff when it's in the firearm. Like, it moves around more and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's ran. Whereas the Pro Mag, I feel like, just has such a big name, and that, it's hit or miss with the Pro Mags, and they don't change it because they sell so many of them. I would like to see a reliable drum made one day. The KCI has been reliable, but I don't have a ton of rounds through it. I have maybe 500 rounds through it. So, and that's, with the smaller Glocks, the subcompact Glocks, when you're running a drum mag, obviously it has more wiggle room, just from all that weight hanging out, because you get that extra amount of mag that isn't, slid into the mag wall. And it's ran flawlessly, my Glock 26. No issues. Usually you start having issues when you use the smaller firearms with the bigger drum mag. Not a single issue. But would I ever use an ETS mag or an Men 2 mag or any of that for everyday carry? No. If anything, buy them for cheap range mags. If you stay with the smaller ones with the smaller springs, sometimes I've heard people putting Glock springs in them, that whole sort of thing. They can be reliable, but never for everyday carry. That's just my opinion. I can only speak from my experience. That's what I try to say in all these videos, that I can only speak for me. I have tons of rounds for a lot of aftermarket mags. I found what works, what doesn't, and I'm going to come to you guys with that information. So you can take it or leave it, but, when it comes down to our life, here's the thing. So people have been saying to me, like, oh, the reason I carry a Taurus is if I'm in self-defense encounter, they're going to take my firearm from me. That doesn't make sense. You should be carrying, it shouldn't matter. Like, whatever gets taken away by the police, you should just be happy you're alive, your kids are alive, your wife is alive, and that you're breathing and making it home that night. You shouldn't carry about that firearm. I wouldn't even want that firearm back or anything like that. Like, I know some people say they want theirs back. I wouldn't want it back, and to be honest, I'd be sort of happy that's gone. Self-defense, we joke around about it a lot, but it is a serious thing. And if it ever came down to that, I want to use the best firearm, the best tool to get home at night. And it's because I'm the one who's just doing everything right, and I'm not the one who's going out and harming people or coming after people. But, you know, you want the best possible situation for yourself. And that's where I always say staying away from the budget and staying away from the super expensive firearms. Because from what my understanding and how everything seems to be in the world, you start going low, people are cutting corners. 2 out of every 10 firearms are messing up. You know, they have bad recalls at the beginning, that whole sort of thing. And then you go to the super high valued stuff, and they're having issues too. They're having malfunctions. And it's like a $2,000 firearm having malfunctions. You think for $2,000 that thing runs like gravy and you never have to clean it. You know what I mean? But that's why I like staying in that middle price range, 400 to 700, 400, 800 tends to have zero issues. So you're not going up a whole lot of money, spending it on a better firearm. And there's nothing wrong with Taurus firearms. If that's all you can get, that's fine. I'm just trying to explain, like, you should never justify what you're carrying based off, oh, I'd be okay losing that amount of money, or, oh, I'm only losing this much. You should want the best tool for the job and never have to worry about the stuff again. Whatever you lose that night, you can get back in the future. I promise you that. But anyways, thanks for watching.